Hello, this is RICKY, the Android Guy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Android Weekly / Android Q&A, where we give you all the latest news that's going on in the mobile world, as well as answer your questions live. So, if you are new to the show, basically, I'm going to go over the news. Then we're going to go over the questions that were emailed to me during the week. If you have a question, please ask your question right down below at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and make sure your subject is question. Helps me filter it a lot easier. And finally, if you are watching live, and we film every week, Sunday at 8 p.m., if you are watching live, make sure to leave your question in the comment section down below, and I will get to it after the news and the questions they're asking me during the week. All right, let's start off by going over the first bit of news, which is we have a much better picture of the all-metal Samsung phones. Now, this is called the A series. Supposedly, there's going to be an A3, A5, and A7. But this is the first look of it, and it does look a bit different from the Alpha, which is, phone, and the Note, which is, metal on the side, but not the backing. This is actually a metal all the way around. And what makes it really different from a couple of other devices is that that are metal is that it really matches all the way around with white. So with white, it's white on white metal. So unlike other phones that have like a silver and white mixing matching the metal, this is an all white one, which is just a nice change. I feel I kind of like it. It's one of the things I like about the Alpha that I'm currently playing with right now, is that it has that ability to actually be all white all around. So I just like that, and I like the matching color. For instance, I can show you the Alpha that I have right now. This one is a champagne gold, and it's gold all the way around. So it's gold on the middle, on the backing, and on the front. Everything about it is gold, and that I like much better than kind of just like, well, you have like for the iPhone. I always found it weird. Like, so the ring is gold, but nothing else is. Who really cared? The new one is better, but it's just nicer to have one color overtake the phone. And then we have more talk about HTC Desire's Eye. Now, if you tuned in last week, now we thought this eye was going to be an accessory that's kind of like a telescope, and basically it's able to take pictures kind of on the go. You can mount it and do different things with it, kind of like a GoPro style. But now we see this new thing, which is called the Desire Eye instead of just the HTC Eye. And this one has a flash right on the front as well as on the rear. So this has a nice flash on the front. It's supposed to be still 5 megapixels on the front. At least that's what some reports say. Other reports say it's going to be 13 megapixel on the front, which would be very impressive if that's true. But I'm just curious, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be a 13 on the front, 13 on the rear? It's kind of interesting to see, and I guess we'll find out when HTC's next announcement comes up, which I believe is this week. Yes, on the 8th. So Wednesday, we will find out what exactly they have in store. Other news, the HTC Nexus, supposedly HTC is making the Nexus, has passed through FCC. So, a lot of people do believe that the Nexus will be announced as well in October, just because we're due for Android L. It happened around this time last year. So the anticipation is, well, will it be announced along with the October 8th announcement? I don't know. I don't believe that. For Nexus, I believe more it would be Google by themselves, but who knows? It could be. It could be just with everyone. It just depends on how Google wants to do it. So we'll see about that. And then, of course, we have a hilarious video of Samsung basically showing how strong the Note 4 is, and that no, it will not bend upon lots of different types of pressure. They did just one regular pressure by itself. They did one with the bend one. And this was a much more accurate test than Apple's little test where they were like twirling it around. This does seem a lot better, and I would challenge Apple to do this kind of test because it seemed a much better one to show how their bending is actually happening compared to this one. And finally, in some bad news for Samsung, Microsoft is suing them for interest on $1 billion, which is about 6.9 million. Because they say that Samsung has owned them on patents. Now, for those of you who don't know, every single manufacturer on Android has to pay Microsoft for patents because Android uses certain patents that Microsoft owns. Now, this isn't much money per phone. It's very little. It's less than, I believe, 10 cents per phone. But considering how many Samsung sells, this has increased quite a bit. So basically, so it added up to $1 billion. But then Microsoft was kind of like, hey, you owe us interest on that because you didn't pay this for a long time, and this is a late fee. And this late fee is 6.9 million. Now, even though Samsung already paid the $1 billion, Microsoft still wants interest for their kind of late payment, what they had to suffer through upon their parts. So we'll see. I mean, I don't see why, after paying $1 billion, I don't see why 6.9 million is that big of a deal. I mean, it's a lot of money, obviously, but to a company like Samsung, it's not as much as you might think. So that is one thing that is going, we'll see how it goes. I do believe they're just going to have to pay them. All right, Alex Rudd asks, what do you think about the issue affecting the Note 4 with the glass and bezel? So there's been a lot of things on the Note 4 on, with Apple, their whole bending issue is called Bend Gate. It's kind of like opening the gate to like all these issues that are going on. And we've had this issue, signal or grip gate or signal gate. I forgot what the iPhone 5 one was. And a lot of issues have been had like this. So now with the Note, they're saying that you're going to put basically like a credit card in between where the metal and the glass is. Is that really true? I don't believe so. I believe those were pre-production, to be honest. I don't believe that they were actual devices that were like out in public. I mean, there was 2. And to be fair to Apple, I mean, their bend thing was 9. So although now there's been more because some idiots were going around stores bending iPhones 6 Plus and didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I didn't do it. So yeah, it's things like that have created issues, but I don't believe those were final production, to be honest. And when we review it, we will see. I will do a gap test. I think it's called the gap. Gap gate. So gap test. So we'll see the gap test. All right. Collis? I believe it's Collis. I have Claus. I watched your YouTube demo, and what is the name of the dongle I have to get? For the Note to connect to the LG TV. The adapter you have to get, I have it right in front of me actually, is called the All-Share Cast dongle. Don't know if that'll focus. Nope, not going to focus. Okay, it's called the All-Share Cast dongle. Looks like this. And basically, you just connect it with HDMI and micro USB, and it will wirelessly connect to your TV. On your device, you're going to, on your Note 10.1, you're simply going to go to screen mirroring, which is right there on this phone. Sorry, right there on this phone, screen mirroring. And once you tap that one, you will be able to mirror the phone to your device. Very simple and easy. Leonardo asks, I have a Galaxy S5 and I want to set up my signal from HSDPA to 4G, but it isn't 4G. There are just WCDMA or GSM. Can you please help me? You're confusing two things, I believe, Leonardo. Let me see. Damn it, I don't have a phone I can give you the example of. I don't think Verizon's have it. So what you're actually looking for is called APNs. Okay. So what it seems to be the confusion that you have is you're looking under network modes, like the different type of network modes there are, which can be either LTE, CDMA, or world CDMA and GSM. But what you actually should be looking for are called APNs. So APNs are what have to be written in order for your device to get signal. For instance, for Verizon's APN, it's VZW Internet. That is the name of the APN. And then you have to have certain types of files written out in certain ways. And like, for instance, APN type has to be set. Like everything just has to be set. You can find these online, what they're supposed to be set to for whatever carrier you're using. So if you're using T-Mobile, T-Mobile has two different types. They have an HSPA one and they have an LTE one. So you'd want to set it to the LTE one if you wanted LTE. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the carrier's APN. And they're online. They're exactly how to set it up depending on the carrier. So that is what you want to look up. All right. Hi, Ricky. I have got the S5 and I want to know if the shutter speed on the camera can be changed. This is the slowest camera I've ever used. Thank you for your advice. Ah, I know what you're doing, Sue. So Sue, this is what happened. This is what you have going on. So this is probably what you have going on. You're tapping a button and it's taking forever to just take a photo like that, right? Well, Sue, check out my how to set up the Galaxy S5 camera, because you're supposed to turn off picture stabilization, which is right here. Once you turn that off, you can see how long that one took. Well, now it'll just take it. You see how there was less lag right there? And it just takes the photo right away. So yeah, that is a lot quicker than what you were just experiencing. And obviously it was hard doing it that way, but that's what you need to do. You need to turn off picture stabilization. Picture stabilization should only be left on for low light situations. Otherwise, you want it off the entire time. But for all low light situations, I would leave it on if it's not something that's fast moving. If something that is fast moving, you want it off. Okay. So let's go to the comment section. If you have a question, make sure to ask in the comment section down below, and I will answer it. So let's start with Wayne Glassglow. I saw the unbox of the Moto 360. What do you think so far? Well, Wayne, I actually have it on right now. And I love the design of it. I feel like I do want to wait for the metal design more so, but I do love the design of it. I like the style of it and how it works. But the battery life has gotten better since the update. I'm still kind of giving it a couple days to determine exactly where, but as right now, you definitely need to charge it still at the end of the day. But at least it's not in the middle of the day, which was what I was more concerned about. When I first got it, it was horrible. But my main concern is it better than this one? This is my Gear 2 that I still use a lot, and I, of course, just have a metal strap on it, which, and I also have a leather strap for it. So this was a lot of the reasons why, the luxurious feel of the Moto 360. But also, it's Android Wear versus And Android Wear is updating this month, so I was thinking about doing the review even after the update, which is supposed to be, I believe, mid-October, but I might just do it anyway before. But Android Wear is still a bit limited compared to Samsung's Tizen on the smartwatch right now. And what I mean by that is on Tizen, I can, for one, talk on the phone. I can't talk on the phone on the Moto 360, and that's been a little bit of a frustration. I also can't save my music on this one where I can on Tizen. And I believe that one's coming to the Android Wear with the update, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's my main concern, is what am I losing by doing that? So, Brandon, how large do you think the Nexus 9 should be? The Nexus 9 is going to be 9 inches or 8.9 inches. It's a tablet. That's going to be the Nexus 9, not the Nexus 6, if there is a Nexus 6. It's hard to determine if there will be a Nexus 6 because, supposedly we are going to get, a phone and a tablet. But then when is the phone going to be announced as well? I would expect Google to make an announcement on their own to launch both Nexus devices, but that might not be the case, so we'll have to wait and see. After the 8th, I think that we'll have a better understanding if Google will have their own event to announce both, or if HTC just announced the Nexus 9, then will there be a Nexus phone anymore, or will it just be a Nexus 9 tablet? I got the wireless adapter for my Note 3, but when I'm charging it wirelessly, it gets hot. Is that normal? It shouldn't necessarily get hot. Wireless charging takes an infinite time longer, in my opinion, compared to regular charging. But it shouldn't really get hot. There's no reason why it would get hot. I would ask you, did you get the original wireless adapter for it, or is it a third-party one? That would be my first question. If it is all original Samsung genuine stuff, then yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would return it to get it, because it shouldn't get hot. No, and especially if it's like hot, it shouldn't. There's no reason for that. What's up, Ricky? What do you think about the Nexus 6 versus the Galaxy Note 4? So for one, we don't know that there will be a Nexus 6 yet. There's nothing substantial about that right now. Yes, we have rumors about the Motorola device that is supposed to be considered a Nexus, but we don't know if that will be a Nexus or if that's even going to be a real device. And the fact that, yes, it does have a Motorola logo on the front, it leads me to believe it's not going to be a Nexus, but we'll see. So that's my first thing. The second thing is, for me, probably without a shadow of a doubt, without knowing, mind you, what the Nexus 6 has and what it will offer that's going to be better, it would be the Note 4. The Note 4 will be my phone for the rest of the year. And spoilers, I truly believe that it will be, by all opinion, the best phone of 2014. I really do believe that. I have a strong hint of that. So yes, I do believe it will be the best phone out there, and that's just my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see, play with them, use them, see how they are. But I truly do believe that the Note 4 will be the best phone of all of them. And keep in mind, my main thing about the Note 4 is, as you guys know, I don't mind the Samsung TouchWiz as much as some people do. Some people hate it, and I completely understand that. Some people like Nexus devices only. Some people like the Sense from HTC. Some people like, and that's cool. Everyone has their opinion on the skins, and that's what makes Android so great. We can all customize it differently. But for me, I rather, if you are, a purist, you like Google stock as is, then you can uninstall almost every single Samsung app built into the new Samsung phones on the S5, and most likely the Note 4 will be the same way. And then put Google Launcher on there. And look, you have pretty much stock Android with the best of the best Samsung has to offer, with things like multi-screen, with things like the S Pen, things like that you'll never get on the Nexus. And that's my opinion again, but I would prefer having the best of the best hardware with the software you prefer than having software that's okay and good, but might not be the best overall hardware that you can get out there. And there are and especially if there's hardware better out there. I like to have the bones be the best thing, and then I can worry about software as long as I can tweak it because it's Android. So yes. And it looks like that was the questions. If you guys have any other questions, please leave it in the comment section down below. But it looks like that might be all of them. Make sure to keep an eye out because we have a lot of videos coming up this week. And we got some really cool devices. One I can show already, and that is the Galaxy Alpha. So we'll be doing all the reviews for this one against the iPhone 6. And one is a very highly anticipated device that you'll see videos for. And if you guys are familiar with me on Instagram, you might see pictures of it. So yeah, it's a lot of good stuff coming out, guys, and you will not be disappointed. All right, hopefully you liked this episode, and it will be a really fun thing. Oh, we do have another question about the 2.3 adapter from Amazon. It gets hot after about an hour. See, I would return it, Wayne Glasgow. I would return it if it's giving you trouble, if it's heating up for some reason, then something's off with it. But that's just me. I'm a person that I don't bother taking kind of like if there's an issue with it, I like to get it done and fixed right then and there instead of wait and kind of like, oh man, well it's been heating up since day one. Well, I could have returned it day one and then I wouldn't have had to worry about that. That's me. It's up to you, of course, but in my opinion, it shouldn't be getting that hot. Even if it gets hot after an hour, it just seems like there's some miscommunication between them. That's my opinion again. All right, guys. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming up this week. I've been in that chair all day today, filming and doing lots of fun stuff. So yeah, lots of stuff coming out this week. Make sure to stay tuned and make sure to share everything that you see because it'll be a lot of fun stuff going on. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.